Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today let's analyze Francis Bacon's essay of friendship. Of Friendship, published in 1612. Francis Bacon, 1561-1626. First of all, let's have a look at Francis Bacon's three sets of essays. The first edition of essays came out in 1597, which contained 10 essays. Then the second edition, which was an enlarged version of the first edition, published in 1612, contained 38 essays. And the third edition of essays, that is final enlarged version, appeared in 1625, and this contained 58 essays. So remember, 10, 38, 58. Francis Bacon's essay of Friendship was first published in 1612 as part of his second edition of essays, which contained 38 essays. Bacon discusses the importance and benefits of friendship in a person's life. Bacon considers friendship as one of the greatest joys and necessities of human life. Friendship provides emotional support, intellectual growth, and practical advantages. Friendship is not just for personal happiness, but is essential for mental well-being, decision-making, and success. The need for friendship. Human beings are social beings and need companionship. Solitude can lead to mental distress and loneliness. Even kings and leaders, despite the power, seek close companions for advice and comfort. Friendship helps express thoughts and emotions. A true friend acts as a confessional, a person with whom one can share secrets, worries, and joys. Sharing thoughts with a friend lightens the heart and reduces emotional burdens. Friendship removes mental blockages and allows a person to clarify their thoughts. Friendship as a source of practical advice. A good friend provides wise counsel and helps a person make better decisions. Friends act as second selves, offering different perspectives. A friend can correct one's mistakes and guide them toward better choices. Friendship promotes personal growth. Through discussions, friends expand each other's knowledge and wisdom. Friendship encourages moral, intellectual development. A good friend motivates and inspires, making a person more productive and focused. The healing power of friendship. Friendship provides emotional healing during times of grief and sorrow. It reduces stress and brings peace of mind. Whosoever is delighted in solitude is either a wild beast or a god, meaning that humans naturally seek companionship. Friendship in leadership and politics. Great rulers throughout history have depended on loyal friends for support and guidance. Friends help in political decision-making and prevent the leaders from becoming too arrogant or isolated. Now let's have a look at the images and symbols used by Francis Bacon in his essay of friendship. Bacon's of friendship uses several images and symbols to illustrate the emotional, moral, and practical value of friendship. These metaphors enrich his arguments and lend a vividness to abstract ideas. First of all, we have the image of swellings of the heart. The image, that is, emotional tension, is compared to swellings or tumors that need relief. The symbolic meaning: friendship acts as a drainage valve, releasing emotional pressure and restoring health to the soul. Cannibals of their own hearts. This image means those without friends are described as eating their own hearts. The symbolic meaning: a person who lacks friendship turns inward destructively, leading to self-devouring sorrow or madness. Second self. This image, that is, a true friend is called a second self. The symbolic meaning: friends reflect and extend the self. They serve as moral mirrors and emotional extensions. Wild beast or god. Image: one who delights in solitude is either a beast or a god. This is a line from Aristotle. The symbolic meaning, that is, humans are social beings. Extreme solitude is unnatural unless one is subhuman or divine. Next symbol, that is, fruits of friendship. This image, that is, friendship is described as bearing fruits. The symbolic meaning, that is, friendship provides rich, tangible benefits. That is, emotional, intellectual, and practical. It is not ornamental, but vital. Image: confident as a political tool. This image means great kings and a princess having secret friends for counsel. The symbolic meaning: friendship is not just personal, it is a tool of power and governance, offering wisdom and loyalty in private. The next image: dividing sorrows and doubling joys. The image means that friendship halves grief and doubles joy. The symbolic meaning: emotional sharing transforms experience. Joy becomes fuller and grief lighter. Now it's time for us to go to the main quotations of this essay of friendship. First one: a principal fruit of friendship is the ease and a discharge of the fullness and swellings of the heart. Francis Bacon likens emotional stress to physical swelling, implying that pent-up feelings can become painful or dangerous. Friendship allows for safe emotional expression, serving as a kind of catharsis. This insight highlights the psychological importance of friendship long before modern therapy. It reveals Francis Bacon's understanding of emotional health as central to human life. The next quote: those that want friends to open themselves unto are cannibals of their own hearts. This powerful metaphor suggests that people without trusted confidence devour themselves emotionally. The phrase cannibals of their own hearts conveys unnatural self-destruction and inward suffering. Bacon implies that solitude without emotional release leads to spiritual and mental decay. He elevates friendship from social luxury to emotional necessity. Now the next quote. Whosoever is delighted in solitude is either a wild beast or a god. Borrowed from Aristotle, this quote challenges the idea of self-sufficiency. It means that only someone subhuman or a beast or superhuman, that means a god, can live without a companionship. Bacon uses this to argue that humans, being neither, are naturally social and require friendship. It adds philosophical weight to his argument by invoking classical authority. Now the next quotation. A man's friend is himself a second self. This concept reflects the classical ideal of friendship as deep identification with another person. A true friend mirrors one's thoughts, values, and needs. Through this image, Bacon conveys friendship as both intimate and rational. It brings understanding, not just affection. It supports the idea that friendship is a form of self-knowledge. Now the next quote. This communicating of a man's self to his friend worked two contrary effects, for it redoubled the joys and cut the grief in halves. Bacon poetically captures the balancing force of friendship. Shared happiness becomes more delightful, while shared sorrow becomes more bearable. The rhythm of the sentence reinforces its symmetry and emotional truth. It reflects Bacon's belief in emotional reciprocity as a foundation of human connection. Now the next quote. The best perspective to keep the mind in health is the faithful admonition of a friend. Friendship, Bacon argues, is not merely emotional but moral. A true friend corrects and advises, helping keep one on the right path. Unlike flattery, honest counsel nurtures the soul and supports growth. The phrase casts friendship as ethical medicine, a protector of reason and virtue. Now the next quote. There is no such a flatterer as is a man's self. Bacon warns against the self-deception, noting that people often convince themselves of what they want to believe. In this context, the friend serves as a necessary corrective, someone who sees you without illusion. The quote expresses Renaissance skepticism about the reliability of self-knowledge. It positions friendship as a check on pride and error. Now the next quote. It is a mere and miserable solitude to want true friends, without which the world is but a wilderness. Without friendship, Bacon suggests, human life becomes barren and alienating. He uses the metaphor of a wilderness to evoke spiritual and emotional desolation. Friendship gives meaning and a richness to human experience, offering both a comfort and a purpose. It is not just a private good, but a civilizing force. Now the next quote. There is little friendship in the world, and least of all between equals. Here Bacon acknowledges a darker truth. Genuine friendship is rare, especially where rivalry and ambition intervene. Between equals, Pride or competition may prevent a true intimacy. These statements add a realism to the essay, tempering its idealism. It hints at the fragility of human bonds in a political or competitive environments. Now the next quote. There is no man that impart his joys to his friend, but he joyeth the more, and no man that impart his griefs to his friend, but he grieved the less. Bacon reaffirms the emotional value of sharing in friendship, highlighting its therapeutic effect. Joy increases through celebration, and grief decreases through empathy. The line is rhythmically balanced, giving it the feel of a moral maxim or proverb. It encapsulates the essay's central theme in its most elegant form.